If you ever think you got a bad or boring job, just wait and experience how scary and grueling the worst jobs of World War II were. From fighting on the beaches of D-Day, where the average soldier's lifespan was said to be around 30 seconds, to being sent on one-way kamikaze attacks. Now experience in first person what it was like to take on these brutal roles, starting with the flamethrower operator. You are now in control of a flamethrower. The massive fuel tank is strapped to your back, and the nozzle is in your hands like a rifle. You move like you're in slow motion, which on a battlefield where people are trying to kill you is probably the worst thing possible. Your job is to clear enemy bunkers and trenches so the main unit can advance, which means 9 times out of 10, you'll be sent first. As you slowly make your way across the battlefield towards the trenches, the big tank on your back is like a bullseye, making you twice as easy to be seen. And if somehow they don't see you, if you do make it and start using the flamethrower, the bright orange flames are like a beacon, attracting most enemies' eyes and guns towards you. Possibly the scariest thing about this job is that you practically have a ticking time bomb on your back. All your tank needs is one bullet for it to explode, scorching you and anyone close to you. But say you do survive the battle. Sometimes it's worse. For the rest of your life, you may carry the constant image of burning humans screaming in pain in your mind, which, even if they are your enemy, must be a horrible and frightening thing to live with. Now taking to the sky, where it's no less scary, as a bomber tail gunner. You are on board a bomber aircraft that is strategically bombing Germany. Your role as the tail gunner is to protect the aircraft. You are placed in a small glass turret at the back of the plane. It's your responsibility to spot and destroy any enemy planes before they can attack you and your team. With these missions taking place around 25,000 feet, oxygen is low, and temperatures can drop to -40 degrees, which is about the same as sitting in Antarctica during winter for hours. So even the environment itself was brutal. But what made this role truly scary was that you were almost always the first target. Enemy planes would usually attack from the rear, meaning that thin bit of glass was the only thing protecting you from their line of fire. But perhaps the scariest part was that if the plane was hit or the engines failed, it was extremely hard for you to escape. While the other soldiers might have a chance to parachute out and survive, you most likely wouldn't have enough time and would go down with the plane. From the heights to the depths, you are now a U-boat sailor, part of the Axis. You are inside a weaponized submarine, patrolling the Atlantic Ocean, with the job of finding and destroying supply ships traveling from America to the UK. The living conditions alone would make even the most sane men lose their minds, trapped in a tight, claustrophobic space with no sunlight for weeks at a time. But what made this role truly terrifying was the constant threat. Allied warships made U-boats a priority, meaning you're always being hunted. As soon as you are detected, explosions echo around you as the Allies launch missile and bombs. With no escape hatch and the U-boat being far too slow to outrun them, your only option is to dive deeper. But that brings another deadly risk. As you have no time, your U-boat dives deep, fast, meaning the pressure change can happen too quick, which can violently implode the submarine almost instantly. So there is practically no escape once you are found. This led to around 75% of U-boat sailors never making it back, making it the highest fatality job in World War II. Staying with the Axis in one of the deadliest battles in history, the Battle of Stalingrad. You are now a Stalingrad infantry soldier. Your job is to take over the city by moving from house to house and street to street. This made it very different from an open battlefield. Your enemy could be anywhere. Every house and every room you enter could be the end of your life. At the start, Germany was overconfident and believed this would be a quick and easy battle. So most of the soldiers sent were young with no experience, but it was not quick. The battle lasted over 5 months, dragging you into a brutal winter. You are underprepared, barely surviving against the freezing conditions. And it gets worse. The Soviets cut off Germany's supply chain, meaning the little food and extra clothing you had is now gone. Every day becomes truly terrifying. You are constantly under threat, with no place ever being safe. The freezing weather slowly wears you down, and surviving each day begins to feel like a miracle. And then it gets even worse. The Soviets begin taking back their land, surrounding you. Now you have nothing left to do but hide and hope. back with the Allies as a naval minesweeper. Your job is to locate and clear deadly naval mines hidden in the sea, ensuring safe passage for the convoys and warships. Most of the mines are submerged just below the surface, making them almost impossible to spot with the naked eye. Instead, you have to rely on captured enemy documents to find their locations. This makes it incredibly nerve-wracking, as at any moment your ship could strike an undetected mine. And even if you detect all the mines in that area, clearing the mines is just as terrifying. Your ship tows long steel sweep wires behind it, designed to cut through the mooring cables attaching the mine to the seabed. Once the mine is cut and surfaces, you have to shoot and explode the mine, hoping you're at a safe distance and it doesn't set off others below you. And to make matters worse, every explosion can be heard for miles, so nearby enemy E-boats and warships will begin closing in on your location. And as you're miles ahead of the rest of the convoy, you're completely exposed and unprotected. But just say you make it out undetected and safely clear the minefield, you will never know if you've missed one, and that one hidden mine could cost hundreds of lives in the Allied convoy approaching. With the next job, you're expected to sacrifice yourself. You're now back with the Axis as a Japanese pilot, with the one and only order of embarking on a one-way mission to cause as much damage as possible. As simple as that sounds, you had to be an incredibly skilled pilot to actually hit your target. You were most likely ordered to aim for Allied warships, so as you approached the fleet, you had to attempt to hit that small moving target while zigzagging through immense enemy fire from fighter planes and the ships below. Missing the target or being shot down meant your sacrifice was for nothing. But what made this job truly terrifying is that there was often no turning back. With the immense pressure and shame culture surrounding volunteering for the job, you may not have fully come to terms with the sacrifice that came with it. So, if you changed your mind while flying toward your target, it was often already too late. As Japan had fuel shortages, so your plane would have only had enough for one way. Now with the last, and in my opinion, the scariest. As a soldier in D-Day, something straight out of a horror movie, you're now an Allied infantry soldier, landing on the beaches of Normandy. Your job is to rush and clear the beach, so the Allies have a landing point to push inland into Europe. As soon as you reach the beach, the landing craft's doors lower, and you're met with constant machine gun fire and artillery. There was a high chance you could be killed before even leaving the boat. But say you do survive. Your next job is to get past all the obstacles and mines across the beach while still being constantly shot at by the enemy positions. But due to all the smoke and fire, you were often so disoriented that you had no idea where you were or which way to run. What made this truly terrifying was the fact there was practically no cover, so it was left up to chance whether a bullet would hit you or not. If you did make it to the other side of the beach without being shot or blown up, you still had to eliminate the enemy positions as fast as possible to stop them from eliminating the rest of the Allied troops. This involved close combat in trenches and bunkers, where you'd have to fight for your life. But as the Allies took control of the beach, and you realized you'd somehow survived, it may feel just as brutal. Having seen so much death and horrifying sights, you won't be able to sleep or think the same again. And the war still isn't over.